Welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. EJ forces Sloan into an insolvable situation. At Black Patch, Chad delivered a train to Steve with newspapers about Clyde. The fact that we were not suitable to keep Clyde behind bars keeps me up at night, Chad admitted. Steve promised they would regain Clyde. With a nod, Chad informed Steve that he'd set up new substantiation about Abigail's murder. Chad gave Abigail's tablet from the review to Steve, and Chad explained what Abigail had detailed about the Salem medicine trade. "She no way said anything to you about any of this?" Steve asked. With a shake of his head, Chad said he didn't suppose Abigail would have wanted Chad to know that she had been working on a dangerous story. "But I reached out to her pater. And he verified that Abby was working on Commodity Big," Chad verified. Chad added that Abigail had told Jack that the story hadn't condemned out. "Do you suppose that it's possible that my Abby was not contributory damage? That perhaps she was Clyde's target each along?" Chad asked. Steve prompted Chad to take Abigail's journal to the police. With a shake of his head, Chad noted that, unlike the police, Steve would not backburner the murder of his bastard. Technically, the police formally answered the case. Clyde Weston confessed to the murder. "They do not watch about the why," Chad said. When Steve noted that Clyde's concession was that he'd inaptly attacked Abigail, Chad shook his head in disagreement. Clyde's reasons for going after Belle as some kind of warning toe.j, they just no way made sense, Chad argued. Steve promised to probe. "Bringing Clyde Weston down is particular to me." "Further particular than ever," Steve said. At the Brady pub, Roman congratulated Ava on her job performance during her trial period. "You got the job," Roman said. Kate watched from the corner of the eatery as Ava and Roman shook hands. Kate walked over and asked Roman if he could take a break. "Thank you for the job, Roman." "It means a lot to me," Ava said before she returned to work. Roman was about to sit down at a table with Kate when Eric walked into the cantina. "Where's your little apprentice?" Roman asked. Eric verified that Jude was at home, and he was there to pick up Kate. Roman offered to give the pie to Eric for free if he'd agree to let Roman spend further time with his grandson. While Roman and Eric walked into the reverse to get Kate, Ava delivered a glass of wine to Kate. Kate noted that it was the wrong wine. "I heard Roman hired you, officially," Kate said. "He did," Ava said. Kate complimented Ava, and she advised Ava not to essay to take over the business. "Do we understand each other?" Kate asked. Ava smiled. Ava told Kate that she didn't like to be hovered. It was not a trouble. It was a pledge. "And unlike your swain, I keep my pledges," Kate said. Confused, Ava asked Kate what she meant. Kate explained that Harris had promised to supplicate for Lucas' release from captivity. "Remind Harris to come through for Lucas or differently," Kate said. "So, now you are hanging him, too, huh?" Ava asked. With a boo, Kate noted that neither Ava nor Harris wanted to know what Kate was able of. When Roman returned to join Kate, he asked her if she was worried that he'd hired Ava. "I would no way tell you how to run the cantina," Kate said. With a mime, Kate noted that if Ava was a good hand, it meant that Roman would have further free time to spend with Kate. Kate glared over at Ava. "I just wish I could trust her, that is all," Kate said. Steve walked in the door, and Roman called out to him. "I need to see Ava." "Is she around?" Steve asked. Roman refocused at Ava. "Take a break," Roman said to Ava. With a nod, Steve and Ava headed outdoors to walk and talk. Kate rolled her eyes. Steve and Ava walked over to the city forecourt, and he asked her about her plans for Clyde. "Did you mean what I suppose you meant?" Steve asked. "He tried to kill my son, our son. He needs to pay. So, whatever I choose to do next, I am advising you, Steve, don't stand in my way," Ava said. Steve promised not to intrude. "But here. I do not know what you are planning, what you got cooked over, but if Weston is set up by whomever and he happens to be in a body bag rather a bind, so be it, Steve rumored. Ava beamed. After their discussion, Steve left for home, and Ava returned to the clearing in front of the cantina. To call Harris. Harris verified that his musketeers in the Navy had made progress with the law. Ava informed Harris that Clyde hadn't posted her, but she promised to further it to Harris when Clyde reached out. With a shriek, Ava told Harris that she missed him. In the Spectator office, Everett read commentary on his story about the mayor's misconduct as Leo paced and reviewed possible stories for his column. Leo complimented Everett on his big story, and he lamented that he hadn't been suitable to post a eyeless item about the mayor in his column first. Especially since I've zilch, nada for my column this week, Leo said. When Leo mentioned that he'd killed a juicy story, Everett asked what had happened. Leo murmured that he was a romantic. Stephanie walked into the office and blazoned that Paulina had fired E.J. and rehired Melinda Trask. Poor J, he's having a terrible, horrible, no good, veritably bad week, Leo said. With a shriek, Everett noted that he was interested in a drink. Leo declined to join Everett, citing his need to stay sober. Good for you, Stephanie said. Stephanie asked Everett if he wanted to go to the small bar. As Everett jounced yes, Stephanie noted that there were a lot of good-looking men at the bar. You do not need to drink to have fun, Stephanie said. Leo furrowed his brow. Yeah, so I have heard. But I'm also on the cart from gorgeous, attractive men who bait you in with their charm, Leo said. Stephanie reminded Leo that the bar was a great place to eavesdrop gossip for his column. Leo bounded to his bases. Quick, before I make a decision I will be proud of, Leo said. At Sloan and Eric's apartment, E.J. demanded that Sloan hand over Jude. I am not asking you, Sloan. I am telling you. That baby doesn't belong to you. It belongs to Nicole and to me, E.J. growled. Sloan reminded E.J. that they had agreed that it was in everyone's stylish interest that Jude remain with Sloan and Eric. I did, yes, but that was before I saw Eric and Nicole kissing, E.J. said. Sloan was taken suddenly. I do not believe you. When? Sloan asked E.J. Explained to Sloan what had happened at the bar and in the foyer. E.J. verified that neither Eric nor Nicole knew J. had watched them kiss. But obviously, they are working so nearly together, coupled with their history, the way they always feel to circumvent one another. It's a disaster staying to be, and it must be stopped, E.J. said. But how? Sloan asked. E.J. explained that if Jude were returned to Nicole, Nicole would quit her job to concentrate on her son and family. It would drive a stake through the heart of any moping passions for Eric, E.J. said. The only problem is, Jude isn't your son, Sloan combated. Nicole doesn't, nor will she ever, know that, E.J. said. Sloan frowned and noted that if E.J. pushed to legislate his plan, she'd let everyone know that Eric was Jude's father. E.J. advised Sloan that if Sloan tried to tell anyone the verity, he'd make sure Sloan was charged with hijacking, among other charges. You'll lose Eric, your law practice, everything, E.J. said. Sloan noted that if E.J. took Jude, she'd still lose Eric and be subject to felonious charges. E.J. offered to help Sloan flee the country. You'll still have your freedom and a chance to start over, E.J. said. E.J. promised to pay Sloan, and in exchange, she demanded to keep Jude's maternity a secret ever. And if I don't? Sloan asked. With a mime, E.J. noted, also we'll both go down. And unlike you, I will not be anywhere near a captivity. E.J. ordered Sloan to make a choice. Sloan walked over to the crib and she started to cry. I can't. I need further time, Sloan said. You have 24 hours, and not a second more, E.J. said. E.J. reminded Sloan that there was no escape.